Well, just 1 month into the 2016 season and Collingwood's record sits at 1 win and 3 losses after falling 35 points short at the hands of Melbourne on Sunday. Joining me, as he does every Monday on The Agenda, is Jay Clark. And Jay, not a great day at the MCG on Sunday.
No, and you can understand Nathan Buckley's frustration, Chriso, because I thought in parts Collingwood played some of their best footy of the season, but also early, in particular the first and second quarter, there was some of their worst footy, and Melbourne kicked 9 goals to 1 and really broke the game open early. Buckley at the press conference said he needs to make some changes. They'll look at bringing some young guys in. Be very interesting to see if Mason Cox plays in the big game against Essendon Anzac Day.
Well, we'll get to that a little bit later, but from the 11-minute mark of the first quarter to the 10-minute mark of the second quarter, that was the scoreline. As you suggested, 8 goals to 1, and Melbourne were really able to break the game open. Now, after that period, there was some pretty good football, as you suggested, playing. It was great to see Travis Varco back.
Well, Varco on side bottom, I thought made a huge difference in terms of that uncontested possession, that outside running. You see Varco here, breaks a couple of lines, it ends up with Cloak and the goal. And this is what really helped kickstart the Collingwood charge. And I think overall now we see Grundy cut it up the middle. Crisp combines here. There's that overlap run that we probably haven't seen enough of. Anash on the left, a nice kick here forward. But overall, the effort and the intensity, the tackle pressure was there, Chriso. So there's no doubt it was an improvement on the past couple of weeks. It's this sort of stuff, this connection with the forward line, which has been poor. So we saw that in bits and pieces, but across the 4 quarters, really faded in and out. There was just a huge swing between their best footy and their poor stuff.
I think one thing we can say, though, the pressure was right up last week against St Kilda. Yep. 2 inside 50 tackles on Sunday against Melbourne, 26. So it does go to show there was a dramatic improvement in that part of the ground. Well, if the Magpies are to be at their best, where does Scott Pendlebury play? Where does he play, Jay? At half-back, or does he play in the pivot? Now, in the first quarter, he played across half-back, just went in for 1 centre bounce, and just had the 3 disposals. And you can see on the graphic there how effective he was in the second quarter, going into 10 centre bounces.
Well, he was magnificent in that second quarter. He really got Collingwood back into the contest. But the half-back move now, Chriso, simply is a luxury Collingwood cannot afford anymore. Early you think, well, he plays across half-back, you can use these silky skills, but the on-ball group just haven't been able to get it done without him. He needs to play in the middle now. He changed the game in that second quarter, as we just said, and simply Nathan Buckley's just got to do away with the half-back experiment because they just can't afford that. He needs to be in there.
Yeah, the problem is there's a number of injuries to the first choice half-backs, but we'll get to that in just a moment as well. And you did mention Pendlebury's wonderful use at 90% in the midfield in the second quarter. That sort of skill and poise is something the side surely needs right now. Vice-Captain Nathan Brown addressed this, as well as the need for Collingwood to stick together with the Collingwood media post-match.
It's just polish and one-touch footy and being clean and capitalising and not having shots around the body and hitting the handball when it's there. And then when you're in front of goal and you've got clear sight of day, you're just finishing off and nailing it. It's just frustrating, and again, we'll work hard at it, and we'll get back into training tomorrow and have a good hard look at it. No matter how bad we get and how much pressure we come externally, we have to look after each other, and we're Collingwood. We look after our mates, and that's a big pillar of who we are at Collingwood. It's always been like that. So no matter what happens, we'll be there for one another, and we'll get through this period. I have no doubt. We've got the right coach. We've got a great captain. So we'll work hard. We'll do everything we can, and we'll get through this.
Now, Chris, so there's strong words from Nathan Brown.
Fantastic words.
I mean, the pressure can be on Nathan Buckley and the leaders of this group, but for that to me is the sort of the resolve, the ticker, the leadership, the unity that you need when the Bunsen burner's right on your footy club. So from a Collingwood fan, I like what I heard there.
Yeah, that was outstanding work from Nathan Brown. And like Nathan Brown, Coach Nathan Buckley reiterated the fact that the whole club is in this together, but did caution that several youngsters are pressing their claims for a promotion in place of their more senior teammates in the weeks to come.
We'll be bringing in players that want to play for 4 quarters, but we've got some experience in here that needs to play for 4 quarters as well. And yeah, we've got enough evidence now to make some calls on guys, and there's no doubt that we need to be not making any compromises on the effort in the contest.
Well, Joe, the burning question is, who are these youngsters? Who are the players playing currently in the VFL that perhaps can step up to the mark and have an impact at senior level? And there's a couple that are going around that were drafted last year, and of course, very interesting. Rupert Wills is amongst them. Now, taken at pick 63, was the best player for Collingwood's VFL team against Casey. He's a big body, great size, 191 centimetres, 89 kilos, and he might be one pressing for senior selection.
Derek Hine, the recruiting chief, is pretty excited about this guy. A bit of a project play. As you said, he's got some size and he's dynamic in the midfield. So there we saw a moment before. He could really inject something different into this midfield mix. We move on to Benny Crocker, half forward. That's that half forward connection that he can help. And also Josh Smith. So he's a clever ball user. He's hard-nosed inside. There you can see nice kicking technique. So, and Tom Phillips as well. So the question, Chris, is how many changes can Nathan Buckley make? Because they've already used 32 players, right? The next best is 28 in Collingwood's 2010 Premiership year.
In 4 rounds, isn't it?
Well, 33 in their Premiership year. And now with changes, I doubt, on Sinclair, Cloak and Reid with some injuries, we could be looking at 34, 35 players already at round 5. So there's been massive instability and change there. But look, Wills has got some X factor.
Yeah,
the coaches love Smith and Mason Cox on the big dance.
And I'll tell you the other one, Tim Broomhead is close to getting back as well. And you mentioned the big man, Mason Cox, the boy from Oklahoma State University. Might he play his first game in front of a packed house on Anzac Day for the Magpies? Here he is in the VFL. And he showed a lot in the pre-season, Jay.
Yeah.
Particularly in that game against the Cats.
Well, that's right. He bodied up against Harry Taylor and took 2 or 3 contested marks. We're seeing some of his deft ruck work right here, and you can say that Brodie Grundy might need a hand in the ruck. So he can do all that stuff. Anthony Rocker's done a great job with him. Right, those signs in that Geelong NAB Challenge game. I mean, Harry Taylor's one of the best defenders in the comp, and 2 or 3 times he out-muscled him and took a nice grab overhead. So what a story, an American import on a very special day, in Australia's history. I think it's a great story. 95,000 people. What a debut that would be.
What a day for him. Well, our Monday moments are in, and I don't like doing this, but poor Tommy Langdon. And this is just not so much about Tom Langdon, but more about the number of turnovers that Collingwood committed against Melbourne. This was a crucial stage of the match. 3rd quarter, Collingwood down by 21 points and pressing hard. And this is what happened. Kick across goal, straight to Kent, and a goal. Just releasing the pressure. The pressure was so intense at that time, and just a gift goal, really. And there was another one where Brodie Grundy handballed straight to Frost. He kicked a goal. So just little things like that can, I reckon, be tidied up going forward. That is going to be a real positive in terms of turning things around.
What I did like is Scotty Pendlebury, the captain, went straight over to Tommy, recognised that moment, how big it was, as you just pointed out, and patted him on the bum. It would have been easy to get frustrated with Tommy at that point, so well done to Scotty Pendlebury.
Now, your Monday moment?
Is still side bottom. Now, we know how good this guy is. They link up through the middle here, so great double effort from Grundy, from the big man, to keep running. See that Crisp takes a hit, clears his man. So this is the overlap run. James Aish on the left foot, a nice kick inside, steal above his head. This is the versatility as to his game. Sucks the Melbourne player, sail him in there and kicks the goal. Now, this guy has really been missed, and I think with him and Varco back, Chriso, just gives that outside run probably that they've really been missing, and some class as well. So he made a big impact in his first game back, and Treloar continued to shine as well.
This week, Anzac Day, Essendon, packed house. Now, before the season, we had put this in as just an automatic win. Is it an automatic win, mate?
Well, Nathan Buckley said quite sternly in the presser, Chris, that the draw is irrelevant. We're not underestimating anyone. They lost to St Kilda, now they lost to Melbourne, and Essendon was pretty competitive against Geelong for a half of footy at the weekend as well. So I think it'll be a big week here at the Holden Centre. Be very interesting to see how they respond at the weekend. Always one of the best games of the season.
Absolutely, and we'll be here next Tuesday to review the show on the agenda. Hope you can join us then, and let's hope for a massive day and Anzac Day, Collingwood versus Essendon. Let's hope we've got something to celebrate on the agenda on Tuesday. Goodbye.